Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on the Gulf Coast that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504
Vice presidents or regional vice presidents or people who are in the upper echelons of the bank who can really make a call one way or the other. So it's very, very important as business people that we come to know bankers and have a friendly relationship with a banker, because oftentimes that determines if your business can succeed or fail. Cash flow is the milk of a business. And so if everything you're doing is based on your capacity to get lines of credit, because that will determine if your business is successful or not long term, and that's the key. I want to introduce you to two people. One, Brian Burke, who has been a part of the Anselmo law firm, who has been an invaluable asset to us as a group and as an individually. Over the last 30 years, he and Mike Laughlin, Mr. Anselmo, has just given us tremendous legal advice. And I don't want to jinx him, but we have not lost one case, and we've had many, not one case with that firm. And so we consider them friends. They've always been there for us, always give us good advice. I mean, many times, AK and I, and even Lewis, we come up with some stuff that we think will work. But we learned early to bring it to the lawyer and bring it to the CPA, and then they can tell you whether or not it's going to work for you. And then introduce Brian Burke to you guys. Let him tell you a little bit about himself and also introduce his wife.
Hi, Brian Burke. Thank you all for coming. I know it's the middle of the day and everybody's got things to do, but we appreciate it. I've been friends with Donald since actually we just talked in 1996 when I got out of law school. I have basically a general civil practice, and so if any of y'all ever need anything, just feel free to give me a call. I'm always happy to tell you, maybe you should think about going this way, that way. I'm good friends with Mary over right here, and we'll just talk sometimes during the week about what do you think. So if ever y'all need anything, just give me a call. I do a lot of construction litigation, a lot of probate work, a lot of estate planning. So right now, working with Bishop here on some other things with Donald. So, just feel free to give me a call. I've teamed up with Robert Diliberto. We're handling a lot of IDA claims right now because the insurance companies just aren't paying, as we know. So we're getting ready, in fact, to file suit on one within the next few days. And just remember, you only have one more year left if you're going to file. There's also a program in place by MAPS Mediation for certain smaller claims that if it fits certain guidelines, you go in, it's a cheap half-a-day mediation, and hopefully you can get somewhere quick without having to file suit. I have my cards. I'll pass them around, but then Donald can always tell y'all how to get in touch with me. And now I'd like to introduce the real reason we're here, my wife, Lesley Burke. She's a mortgage lender with Hancock Whitney. She's been doing it for several years. I can tell you after working in the house with her during COVID that if anybody will get you to closing, she will do whatever she can to get you there. She was at the kitchen table working, and I had my study, and during the day I could hear her on the phone constantly talking to her process about what do we need to do to get to closing. What else do my clients need for us to get there? So, and if she can't help you with other of your business needs, she can always put you in touch with somebody else at Whitney who may be able to help you. At least she's a point of contact, somebody that you could actually get on the phone. I have successions that I handle with Chase, and when you go into the branch looking for something, the other day they told me, well, there's no banker here. I was like, what do you mean there's no banker? So you got to write to the probate department in order to get any questions answered about a particular account. Well, at least with Whitney, I can always talk to Lesley, and she can say, well, call so-and-so. So, whether it's for a home loan or she's got some good construction packages, some other loan programs in certain communities that if they fit into the certain guidelines, it's a really good package. But I'll let her tell you more about it. Again, thank y'all for coming.
Hello, Lesley Burke. I've been with the bank probably since the early 90s. I've been a mortgage lender with the bank for about 18 years. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I did want to just touch on some programs that we offer, some different types of loans. We offer most everything that every other mortgage lender offers, VA loans, FHA loans. rural development loans, which aren't going to be eligible over here, but in some other areas in Tangipahoa, Washington, St. Tammany Parish, those are eligible. We offer some great construction loan products. The bank does offer lot loans for people that are looking to build a lot and have a builder build on their lot and then have the builder build, but the builder's not going to be doing the financing for them. They're going to be doing the financing themselves. They'll roll it all into a one-time closing. So whatever the rates are in the beginning are the rates for the life of the loan. Right now, I'm not sure if that's really a benefit or not, not knowing where rates are gonna fall. But you know, you don't have to worry about how much higher they're going to go in the future. You can lock it in now. We offer some professional and executive programs for some. It doesn't have to be a doctor. It can be any type of profession. If they've been in it for less than 7 years and they're looking to buy their first home, we can do up to 100% financing for that, depending on certain income qualifications. One of the big products that we're offering right now is it's a 100% loan financing on a purchase or on a refinance, but it has to be your primary residence. So it's to target those borrowers to get into a home where right now the investors might be scooping up on the homes because people can't save enough money to put down for their home purchase. It does not have to be a first-time home buyer. It does have to fall in certain areas. There's a lot of areas on the West Bank. There's a lot of areas on the East Bank of Jefferson Parish, Orleans Parish, Tangipahoa, Washington, some in Mississippi. So the property has to be in certain areas, but the individual that's buying the home does not have to have any sort of income restrictions. So they don't have to fall, like you might hear some of these where they have to be in a median income census tract. That this is not anything to do with income. It's strictly where the homes are located. We can go down as low as a 640 or a 620 credit score on those. There's no mortgage insurance. So when you hear people talk about, I don't have 20% to put down on a house, I'm going to have that extra mortgage insurance in my note. I don't know that I necessarily want to pay that because now I'm going to be paying even more a month. There's no mortgage insurance. It's a 30-year fixed rate loan. The interest rates right now are at least a point lower than what the market rate is on a 30-year fixed. So it's a phenomenal product. We've had a lot of success with it. It's getting people into homes that otherwise would not have been able to qualify for the home. So other than that, the construction loans, the rural development, VA, FHA, let's see, lot loans. We do a lot of home equity lines, which I don't specifically do. Someone else in the branch does. But basically anything that you can think of that would have to do with a mortgage, I can either handle or put you in touch with somebody that can handle. But these 100% loans with no mortgage insurance are really a good product right now, especially as the market's changing and rates are going up, and it's getting harder and harder for people to find homes that are reasonable. You know, I don't know how it is in this market, but I know across the lake, rent right now is more than what a lot of people can get into a house for. So they just don't think that they can do it because they don't have the money to put down. So this is a really great product for that. And, you know, it's not a grant. It's not anything that has to be paid back because it's a true 100% loan. So does anybody have any questions? There. We can do it as a one-time. The issue usually doing the purchase of the lot along with the construction loan closing is that we have to have the plans, the specs, the contract from the builder, and usually whoever is selling that lot does not want to wait. You know, obviously if you're buying it from a family member or somebody, that time is not a constraint. But usually what we'll do is have the bank do the lot loan. They can do it up to 90%. We have an interest only for 24 months, which is usually, we have more lot loan products than that, but that's usually the one that I would suggest because that gives them time to get with a builder, get some bids, get their plans done, and then we just pay off that lot loan balance when they're ready to start building. That'll go through the commercial division. hmm No, unfortunately not. Yes? I'm not familiar with the grants, but we do have a community development section, and as far as I know, we are. We are. Yeah. Usually, any of the grants through Jefferson or the state, we're part of.
What about the programs for the targeted areas? Can you explain that a little bit?
So that's the 100% that I was talking about. You know, I could have somebody that makes a $500,000, and if they're buying a house that in that property location, that address is eligible, as long as they're purchasing it as their primary residence and not investment. Again, this is to, you know, get people into primary homes, not to have investors have more homes to rent out. As long as the property is eligible, then obviously you have regular, normal debt to income qualification ratios, but you don't have the mortgage insurance, you don't have the down payment. The interest rate is lower than market rate. The you know, it's a fairly widespread. A lot of properties that I've looked at that are for sale on the West Bank are eligible. So it's you know, St. Tammany's very hit or miss. There's some areas in Slidell. There's some areas in Covington. Lots in Orleans, like I said. Lots on the West Bank. So as long as your borrower or your client can qualify debt to income wise, and they can have a co-signer, co-borrower. So let's just say a parent wants to co-sign for, you know, their child who's got their first job, but they want to get into a house because they don't want to live with their parents anymore. They don't want to pay the high rent. Their parents can actually co-sign and still be eligible for that program, as long as the primary borrower on the loan is going to be their primary home. The co-borrower does not have to live there. This is a program that Hancock Whitney, I'm sorry, I'm an old Whitney person. Hancock Whitney, this is a program that's in-house. We hold these loans in-house. So this is a program that we've developed.
So these properties are earmarked in designated areas. You mentioned West Bank, you mentioned like Baton Rouge, places like that.
There are areas in Baton Rouge. There's areas all over. And if you have any specifics, there is a site that you can go onto, and if you want to just email me, I'll be happy to go over. There are some maps, but the maps are kind of hard to see because, you know, it's like one big picture with a blue daub, and you know, you can't see. So if you've got one street, it could be eligible for 5 blocks, and then if it crosses over a major thoroughfare, you know, the next block's not eligible. So it's hard to give boundaries. It's a lot easier just to say, you know, look at this site, or you know, shoot me a text or an email. You know, is this, Lesley, is this property eligible? And that's usually the easiest way. Yeah.
Most of the people here are small business people. What's available to the small business person? For example, Deacon Charles would always remind me that when he started out 40 years ago in the construction business, he could take his construction contract to Merchants Bank, and Merchants Bank would give him a line of credit in order to allow him to function. Or what's available to the small business person? Because most of the people here are cash based in their businesses. What kind of programs available for the small business person?
As far as on the residential side with purchasing, or
No, in order for them to function as a viable business. That's where most small business people don't have a relationship with a banker. They just go in the bank, make the deposits, and come and go. One of the things that they teach you is that the importance of having a relationship with the bank, as Brian said when he went to Chase and he asked them, they said there's no banker here. What does Hancock Bank offer to the small business person?
Well, we do have a business banking division, so it's kind of a tier below the traditional commercial bankers. It's for smaller businesses. So if you have issues with your account, the business banker helps you with it. The business banker will help if you need small loans, lines of credit. Those are the kinds of things that the business banker does on their end. So I can give you a contact person, anybody that's interested in that, somebody that I work closely with. If you want somebody that's on this side of the lake, I can recommend somebody as well. But the business banker is kind of your all-in-one person to go to. You normally the branch manager makes decisions about overrides on overdrafts and things like that on your account. But if you have a business banker, you've set up a relationship with them. They're the ones that approve those. They're the ones that those kind of issues go to. So you've got a contact person. It's not like, I know these days with banks, tellers move all over. You go in one day and you recognize people. The next day you go in and it's all new faces. And that's just the nature of how banking is these days, especially as they close branches, because more and more people are doing things remotely. It costs more and more to have those brick and mortar buildings, but we do have business bankers in every area. So, like for instance, Mandeville has a business banker, Covington has a business banker. Every area. So it's not just like a regional thing where it's going to be one person. You've got somebody you can contact.
My name is Omar Ked, and I'm the founder of the Katrina Foundation. The first project we started after Hurricane Katrina. And we had problems getting grants and problems getting funding, even from the state and the city level. Does the bank have a project to fund grants for the Katrina Foundation?
That would be something I'd have to look into. That's not
We have
up
over
my
10
alley,
we
but
have
I'll be
over
happy
$10
to.
million of archives at that location. You familiar with Global Green?
No.
Well, that's the greenest building in New Orleans. It runs by solar energy. It's a
Okay.
$10 million building. It's in the lower ninth ward in the 41st Park neighborhood.
Okay. But I can do some digging for you. Okay.
I'll contact you on that part.
Okay. Anybody else have anything
Now's the
for
time
me?
to ask your question. I mean, that's the key.
Go into a little bit more about the construction loans, because I know a lot of these guys are contractors, realtors, and I know you have a good package.
Yeah, for our construction loans, obviously the construction loans that I do are not from on the builder side. It's for the client that's coming to you to build their house, but they're going to do their financing. So the draws get made. It's a standard 5-draw schedule. Draws are made. We pay out to the client. The client then writes a check or transfers, however the relationship is, to the builder. But we do a lot of construction loans. We have some really good products on construction loans. We've got some ARM products, which in the past, I know people don't like ARMs, but as interest rates go up, ARMs start getting a little more attractive. The rates haven't gotten there yet. They're still not that far off from what fixed interest rates are, but I think if rates keep doing what they're doing, the ARMs, I think are going to start being a little bit more attractive. But we do anywhere from a 10-year to a 30-year fixed on our construction loans. So you make interest-only payments while the house is being built. Once the house is finished being built, it just converts to a permanent loan. So you don't do a whole new refinance like you do with there are some smaller banks or some mortgage brokers that say they do a one-time construction loan closing, but they really don't, because you're having to do a whole nother closing and set your interest rate again when the house is finished being built, and that's not really a one-time close. So we do a true one-time construction loan closing, and we base it off of the appraised value. So if they've owned their land and you building a house that's going to be worth more than what it's actually going to cost, they've got some built-in equity right there, so that helps them. Or if the land's been donated to them by a family member or someone else, they can use that, whatever that land is worth, as their equity as a down payment on that construction loan. So there's a lot of options out there.
And it's important to make sure that your contract with the future homeowner is pretty accurate, because once the process starts, I know it's hard then for them to come back and increase the size of the loan, because you already have the materials and you have the lien issues in effect. And I know the bank gets a little nervous with that.
Yeah, we've had some people that they think they don't need a construction loan. They're going to just self-fund. And then as the project gets a little farther along, and they come to me and they're like, Lesley, I'm short 50,000. What do I do? You're kind of out of luck, because there's lien periods and stuff, and construction has to stop till those lien periods pass, and most builders aren't going to want to just pull everybody off a job and have a house sit there for a while. So if you don't think your client is really strong enough, if you're not funding the project yourself, it's imperative that they get a construction loan. They can always pay it down or not fully draw it if they end up not needing it, but it's too late once it's started. We see it all too often, especially now or at least last year when price of materials just kept going up.
Now, for we have a lot of developers here also buy and purchase properties. Can you talk about what you can do for the developer who's acquiring properties and renovating those properties?
I can on the residential side. That would have to go through the commercial side, which is kind of out of my forte. But we do have lines. Usually, that's what the builders will do. You know, they'll set up a line of credit so that they can fund the project till they sell that house. It just depends on how many homes at once you're selling, how established, how long you've been doing it. But they will do that. Everything that I do is going to be on the residential side for the borrower. You know, I don't do any investment construction. Now I do investment purchases up to a fourplex, refinances, second homes. But as far as the construction, it has to be a primary or second home. So I can't do the construction loan for the builder that's wanting to build to then turn around and sell it.
So what you can say, for instance, if someone wanted to purchase 2 additional properties, you can do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
for a purchase investment, as long as it's not larger than a fourplex, we can do that. Yes. Hello. That's a good question. If it's a new business, 2 years, 2 years full tax returns. That's going to be standard anywhere, really, no matter what type of loan program you're going to do, because they need to see an average of the business with the expenses. You know, I get a lot of people that, you know, they'll want me to do a pre-approval over the phone, and they're like, oh, I own my own business, and this is how much I make. And I'm like, I need to see the returns, because what your gross receipts are and what you're paying Uncle Sam are two different things. And you know, we can't use gross receipts, but there are things, you know, if you have a business that has a lot of machinery, for instance, and you have a lot of depreciation, we can add that back in, but we need 2 years. If you've been in your business for a long time, and you're a strong borrower, in other words, your credit scores are decent and whatnot, sometimes we can do just 1 year tax returns. But for a new business, without a doubt, it needs to be 2, and that's because they need to see a history. Make sure it just wasn't, you know, a little blip that you had a great year, or maybe you had a slow year. You know, right now, what's hurting people is the COVID year, the businesses that had COVID. So after people file their returns for this calendar year, I think you're going to see an improvement. But we have had, not just us, but all banks have had issues with trying to get some self-employed borrowers approved for loans because they had such low income for that first year of COVID, and we haven't had 2 full years of tax returns since then. It should be the same, yeah. Sure.
Any other questions anybody have?
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Now, one other key component before you can introduce them to, because most of these people here are small business people, and they have to have access to lenders. Can you introduce them to someone on the commercial side where they can develop a personal relationship? Because, you know, 1 month you may have $100,000 coming in. Next month you may have $10,000 coming in. That's just a cyclical thing that destroys these DBEs and these small businesses. It's just the cash flow is unpredictable. So the capacity to get secured lines of credit, say back in late 90s, like American Express Bank provided me with a $150,000 line of credit. That changed the whole dynamics of how we can operate. Lewis is sitting back there. Lewis was able to get a $200,000 line of credit. That was allowed him to be able to not go from selling 2, 3 houses a month to 30 houses a month. So the capacity to have someone that they could touch that can introduce them to the right people is not, it's getting in to know the right person determines your loan process.
Definitely. And if you let me know, where your business is located, obviously you don't want to be trucking across the earth to get to your business banker. But if you reach out to me and you're interested and you let me know where your business is located, I can connect you with a local business banker, and we can even set up a meeting together.
And then one of the things that we were able to do, thank God, back then I hired a consultant, and the consultant helped me put my business package together, which allowed me to become bankable. There are probably people in here that make a tremendous amount of money, but their packaging of their loan doesn't get to the next stage. Now, there are some provisions at Whitney Hancock whereby, say, just automatically rejecting it. If they have a relationship, they can go in and talk to that person. The person can tell them, well, these are areas where you're lacking. If you go back and revamp this package, then I may be able to get at your loan committee.
Right, and that's what I do as well with mortgage loans. I don't just enter it in a system and it goes into an automated thing and somebody spits it out. I'll look at it and say, before I even pull your credit, because, everybody's sensitive. They don't want their credit being pulled too many times and have it dropped. But, I can look at the tax returns and tell you, I can tell you, even if you have no debt, this is not going to work. But when you file your next return, if I'm not going to tell you what has to be on your returns, but I can tell you it needs to be more. Somebody's looking at it, physically looking at your documents. They're not just sitting at, and now I'm not telling you that we don't have a lot of automated systems. You come in for a credit card, they're going to just put it in the system. But if you have a business banker, that business banker does what I do on my side. They look at that whole package. They figure out cash flow before they even submit it on to the next stage to see about it and try to work with you.
And that's what they need to have access to the business banker.
Yeah.
Who can help correct any deficiencies that may exist there. And a tremendous amount of people here live on the West Bank.
Okay.
Whitney Hancock has a location on LaPalco that I'm aware of is still there. Is there some? It's closed?
That one closed?
It's closed? Okay.
I don't know which one there.
That's okay. Manhattan? Okay. But at those two institutions, would they have like a business specialist there, or how do they get in touch with
They
you?
don't have them at every single branch, but like I said, the business banker that I work with in Mandeville, she works for, say, 3 branches, but she's housed in one of them. But they're all right there in Mandeville. So I would assume that since they closed one of the branches here,
they wouldn't mind going
there's
to
one.
Mandeville if they can be assured they can be with a business
Well,
banker.
yeah, and my business banker, she will travel. She will travel. I mean, because of, for instance, I have a branch manager that I do a lot with that's now in Ponchatoula, but she started out in Chalmette and moved over to Slidell after Katrina, and then now she's got clientele in St. Bernard, she's got clientele in Slidell. It doesn't matter really where she physically sits. So much stuff is done electronically. You don't necessarily have to sit after that. The first couple of times, you don't necessarily have to sit one-on-one with somebody. You can just pick up the phone and call them to say, this is what I need done. What do you need? So being across the lake sometimes is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I can do loans really anywhere in the country. I can only do construction loans in our footprint, which is from Houston down to Tampa and that whole corridor. So, we don't have to. It's not like the old days where you kind of had to go where you needed it done. Everybody's kind of all over the place now, especially with so many people working remote and, the internet.
Now, one of the things, and I'm going to share this with you, and, facts are facts, and we got to deal with them. 2 or 3 people, when I reached out to them about coming, they had adverse relationships with Whitney Hancock Bank. and they just felt as though their practices were discriminatory in nature. So that's a handicap. And how do they go about, like, one of the business people told me, look, he had nothing to do with Whitney Hancock. I was sharing with you earlier. He's going to pay off his loans as soon as he can. Want nothing to do with them. And that's a prominent person in the community. And if he's feeling that way, then probably other people are feeling that way. What can be done to bring that to the attention that people feel as though it's not user friendly?
That's a good question. You know, on my end,
More on the business side, not the rest. More on the
yeah,
business side.
you know, and I tell people all the time, you know, it can be a $2 million loan or a $50,000 loan. If you're coming to me, it's just as important to you, you know, buying a $50,000 house as that person that's buying a $2 million house. I mean, I don't look at it any differently. I would hope that our business bankers do the same thing. You know, as banks grow, it's hard just
And that's why
because
it's
you have
important.
different people that, you know, if you know, you get bankers that maybe have come from Chase that had a whole different mentality compared to like old time Whitney Bank that was just based in New Orleans. You know, as they grow, sometimes it's not necessarily the bank. It's you've got to just find that
Individuals.
right contact person that's going to work.
And
with
that's what
you.
I'm trying to get to. Like, your business lender, you know that person's characteristics, their traits,
Right.
their morals, their ethics, their psychology. Like, and I'll say his name, Lazard Levy walked me into Regents Bank, and Regents Bank, without, just gave me a loan for $200,000. But that was the relationship with Mr. Lazard Levy. William Jackson walked into Merchants Bank, and Merchants Bank gave me a $25,000 line of credit. I don't know if everybody here going to have those kind of people that can walk them into those institutions. That's why it's important, a person like yourself, that can connect them to the right person. Getting that business finance and getting that loan package is tied 100% to getting past the bureaucracy, the people, the gatekeepers who are going to just lock you before you get there, getting to a key person. I think they want to know, they're not asking this question, you know, would you be willing to facilitate introducing them to the right business banker?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can tell you, I've been knowing the lady that she's referring to for years, and this lady is going to do just like Lesley will. She's going to treat everybody the same. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, she lives on the North Shore now, but she's born and raised in New Orleans. Moved over there.
So that's
After Katrina.
That's what I think they need to know, that they're not asking you to approve anything, but give them access to the person that can help them. And I think that's where the breakdown comes in. And God just blessed me with those two individuals. They just took a liking to me, and
Right.
they knew. And they walked in, and they did that. And Wilson Abraham did it with Charles Stewart over there years and years ago. So Lesley is saying that she can't guarantee you a loan, but she's willing to introduce you to the business person that can help you with the loan, and she'll help you with it however she can on the residential side. So that's key. And oftentimes we'll chat after the meeting, but when you got people that know, that's when the time to ask them questions and brain drain them while you have access to them, and not go in the corner and chat amongst yourself, because you're chatting amongst yourself, ain't nothing gonna happen. So that's the key. And we're gonna take a minute, Les, and let you just introduce a few people, because I want you to know the kind of people that took their time to come out and visit with you. So here, Michael, there,
My name is Remus Bowman. I own a company called You and Your Credit.
My name is Cedric Morgan. My business partner right here, Craig Durancelet. We own Durancelet Financial Group right there on Manhattan Boulevard. I also own CM Properties of New Orleans. We do construction work and government contracting.
Ditto. No. Durancelet Financial Group is a small boutique financial planning firm that We protect our clients' income, assets, and final affairs across the board, utilizing many different products. So I won't go into too many details.
Very helpful with me, helping me with my paperwork on the legal side, certification.
Hello, I'm Gene Francois. I just own a small business called Miami Customs, a body shop. Just a small business. And he's with me. Nice to meet y'all.
Let me ask you a question. Right now, you're basing on a cash basis in your business?
Cash basis, and I also take credit cards and
No. You operate, do you have a line of credit?
line of credit. No, I don't have a line of credit. I use my own money. Okay.
David Weathersby, small business owner, real estate, and thank you for your time and the information you were willing to give. I do have some other questions, but I want to get your email later.
Jesse Connolly. I own the Connolly Corporation. We've been in business for a long time. I retired after Katrina, and I don't know whether you know it or not, young people, retirement is grossly overrated. so I got tired of that, and I reactivated my company, and we doing right now some houses. So I'm gonna be talking to you a little later on.
And Mr. Conlon was one of the few contractors when, that was able to get, he got an $8 million bond to redevelop East Grove Apartments, which is unprecedented, unheard of, on his own. So that's somebody you want to interface with. Mr. Conlon, put that mic over there because they got one last time. Go ahead, Charles, right there. No, one Mr. Conlon. Thank you.
Oh, it's me. I'm Ruben Sears. I own Grandeur Constructions. We do renovations, new homes, new home builds, and fix your house. Yeah, we do everything. That's what we do. We do everything.
My name is Osha Sears. I'm Ruben's wife. I own a company called Grandeur Covering. So we make wild-crafted, handcrafted skincare products.
My name is Ernest Fleming. I own Yellow Dog Trucking and Construction. I do all of I heard y'all talking about building homes and everything like that. I'm the guy that's working outside. We do a lot of the cement work, concrete work, demolition. We've been in New Orleans area. My father, Ernest Fleming Sr., has been in this area since 1965. And great legacy. He's trying to build on it and keep it going.
Sherry Wallace. I own Impeccable Crown. I make handmade natural skincare and hair care products.
Cabrina Fleming. I'm his wife. I do what he do.
Hi, I'm Henrietta. Hi, I'm Henrietta Mitchell. Hoping to be a small business owner and hoping I can learn something from this.
Louis Thomas, own the company LHT Services, Real Estate Development and Consulting.
Les Jefferson, Real Estate Development and Investor.
Hi, I'm Kawana. I have a women's clothing store in Gretna. I've been there about 5 years now. So y'all come check me out. Bring y'all wives and ladies. Come on, in Gretna. Pretty Girl Boutique. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Janita Fontanet. I have adult day health care in New Orleans East. I just received my license this year, so I'm newly opened.
Hi, I'm Quanisha Magone. I own a women's boutique. I'm only online at the moment. The name of it is Shop Jessie Girls.
Hi, my name is Tyrone Tillman. I work for Major Change. Well, I own Major Changes Construction. I'm contracting. I design. I'm the one that they send out when there's a piece of land that's purchased. I usually will go fly over. I design the whole thing from A to Z. I get it done as far as trying to get it permitted and get you going to where you start construction. So what you were talking about with somebody, you have to have the paperwork first. I'm the guy.
Hi, my name is Valerie Hampton. I'm the owner and the director of a Chosen Generation Daycare and Learning Center number 1 and 2. I've been doing this for over 27 years, and it's a delight. Nice meeting you.
Hi, my name is Frances Turner. I'm the Director of Workforce Development for Jefferson Parish. We offer free training opportunities, resume writing, job search, and career assessments.
Vanessa Zimmerman, Jefferson Parish Government.
We offer free training opportunities, the full gambit, CDL, construction, heavy equipment, welding, medical industry. Yes, they can go to workforce. We'll pay for your CDL as long as you qualify and you're eligible. 2 locations are, we are in the Churchill complex in Avondale, 709 Churchill in the Delgado River City campus on the 2nd floor. Our other location is on Airline Highway, 1801 Airline Highway. Trying to get back into society or trying to upgrade their skills to get another career, to have another career change.
Hi, I'm Gerard Johnson. My wife and I have a company we call G&K Enterprises LLC. We actually have about 10 bank accounts with Hancock Whitney. And we're those people you talk about, those developers who just go into a neighborhood, buy the homes, and either flip them or put renters in it. That would be me.
Hello, my name is Dr. Glenda Williams. I'm going to law school. I'm in my 3rd year, but I'm also here representing with the love of my life 21st Century LLC, which is also a computer company. But I definitely want to speak with you because there is a vision that I've been having. I've shared it many times with Pastor Jones about bringing a transitional living center here to the New Orleans area. They have one in Houston, Texas, which is called the Star of Hope. And it deals with our homeless population, but they don't walk in as a shelter. It is actually apartments, but the apartments do not have the eating area because they have to come into the cafeteria and eat as a corporate group. But definitely I want to talk to you about that because that is a need, but it is also hard to get funding for it.
Charles Stewart, Enterprises, and also Lowe's Construction. I've been in the business. Yes, I've been in construction. I guess 40 years. I might be one of the first minority that had their own license statewide. But anyway, adding on to the end, Pastor Jones has said earlier that about helping minority business. I think that you could be a hero if you could get Hancock and Whitney go back to the old landmark we used. Meaning that when I started in the business some 40 years ago, the first contract I got was about $56,000. That's what it cost on them days to build a house. But the bank gave me a line of credit based upon my contract for $25,000. What happened with this is that say for instance, Dr. William building a house, say she give me a contract for $150,000, $300,000 to build a house. And I would, once she signed the contract with me, I would bring that contract to the bank. And the bank would whoever gave that line of credit, the money would be in the escrow account. So Whitney Bank would give me a line of credit based upon that contract. The way it operated is that, say like when I make my draw, the bank cut me a check for $30,000. $30,000 goes to Whitney Bank. They get their money against my line of credit. They give me the rest. Now you do that for your bank, you can help a lot of minorities. If you can convince them to do that, because that's because it takes Jefferson Parish forever to pay you, and many businesses.
Business cards. Yeah, leave. Remember, use Lesley as an asset. She's willing to allow you to use as an asset. And when someone says, hey, use me as an asset, use them as an asset. And that's the key. So leave your business card, share your business card, and let everybody know what you're doing as we get ready to dismiss. Bishop.
Amen. Hope everyone had an awesome time. Amen. Wealth of knowledge, wisdom, also fellowship, get to know one another. Let's bow our heads for a moment of prayer. Now, Father, we leave this place, God. It won't be by happen chance, God, but we ask that we continue a healthy business fellowship and that you cover everyone that's going on the highways and byways with the blood of Jesus. Amen.